Hello everybody, and welcome back to this rerun of the purpose training. Hi Carol, thanks for joining me. I'll just give it a minute and see if anybody else is coming on. I know there's a couple of folk from Canada had shown an interest as well on coming on, whether they can make it or not. So, I'm going to rerun yesterday's presentation because I was a diddy and I managed to mute my mic halfway through it when I coughed. So, can you hear me okay, Carol? Thank you, fantastic. Right, I won't be able to see you for much of this, Carol, because I'm going to actually put a little presentation up here on and share it. Let me just see how to get all this fancy technology working again. Come on. Come on. There we go. Share, right, we're just going to share that slideshow and share it. Righty-ho. So I'll just get started with this, I think, if anybody joins me. If anybody's got any questions on this stuff, if you're watching it live or if you're watching the replay, please type into the chat box. If you're watching the replay, put it in the comments section and we'll get on with this. So this is kind of part 2 of what's it all about, Unit 3 in the Life by Design Units tab. The first part was values, and this is a really integral part to that as well. All of these things kind of work together to kind of, to my mind, make it how your life works and the fulfillment and the joy that you get from it and the amount of stress you receive, etc. as well. So you'll see that as we go through the conversation, how it kind of links into each other. So what's this idea of purpose then? Buddha says your purpose in life is to find your purpose and give your whole heart and soul to it. I've heard another one that the purpose in life is to find your purpose and then to give it away. All right, so it's quite an important thing, this idea of purpose and finding why you're here, really, you know, why, what you care about, and we'll touch on that later on in this training. Why does our purpose matter? Lots of people go through life without finding out what their purpose is. All right, lots of people don't do any personal development stuff like this. Lots of people sail through life and they don't even think about it. Well, I can tell you why it matters. Without a sense of purpose, life can be meaningless. It can seem meaningless to you. Okay, so you will not understand where you're going. You won't feel that sense of fulfillment when things happen to you. As I said, your purpose defines your level of fulfillment, because if you think about it, if you don't have somewhere to get to with it, if there's not a reason for it, you're not going to feel any joy for it. You're not going to feel that fulfillment in yourself. And we'll show you how to measure that a little bit later on as well. Okay? Simple wee question here, just a throwaway. Are you solely here to be a consumer in life? Is that all you're here for? Is that all you're here to be? So have a wee think about that. There's a simple question. Is that all you're here for? You know, marketers would love you to think that that's all you're here to be, to buy stuff and use it. But I don't think so. Purpose is really your guiding star. Okay, this is this idea I use when I'm coaching people and I'm trying to tell them about this, about finding out what purpose is. It's your guiding star. It's the reason for doing things. It's your guiding star to fulfillment. In other words, once you know what that purpose is, you know what you're heading towards. You know why you're going in that direction. So it can help you live your life also at cause rather than effect. Now, what I mean by this is, if you're living at cause, you're living in alignment with your purpose. You know there's a reason for it and there's a reason why you're doing it. Otherwise, you can be living at effect from other things in life. You can be firefighting here, there and everywhere and not really feel there's any sense of fulfillment from it. Or you could be actually getting buffeted around by other people who are living on their purpose. Because if you're not dealing with yours, you can go off the rail. I think of this as your guiding star. Values that we talked about in the previous session are those guide rails down the sides, you know, the way I'll do it, but the purpose is the destination, the why you're doing it. And it's linked closely to this idea of motivation as well, because if you know that it's in alignment with what you want to achieve out of life, then that's what you're going to be doing. you know, that's, you actually do that better. You'll know that that's where you're meant to be going and what you're meant to be doing. It's your why. Essentially, it's, why am I here? Why am I doing this? What's the point of me doing this here? And we'll come on to some more of that again later on. So Friedrich Nietzsche gets a bit of a bad press, this philosopher, but he said, he who has a why to live for can bear almost any how. So if you understand that there is a purpose to what you're doing, even if there are some hardships along the way, you will stick with the path. You'll bear the how, because you know it's for a reason, you know, whatever your reason might be. And this, Roy Bennett, who wrote the book The Light in the Heart, is a lovely quote as well. If you have a strong purpose in life, you don't have to be pushed. Your passion will drive you there. So it's very closely linked to this idea of passion. We'll see that later on in one of the tools I'm going to show you as well. That your passion will drive you there. And your purpose is very closely linked to your passion, as we'll see. So where does it come from? Where does this idea of purpose come from? Where does your purpose come from? It really comes from you. It comes from your character, which is very closely related to your intrinsic personal values. This thing that we talked about in the other part of Unit 3, your personal values, it's very linked to that. Because when you look at your personal values, and I encourage you to go and do that if you haven't already done so, you'll see the values that you have in life, and you'll see that they're very closely related to your purpose and your why. Why am I here? And I'll explain my purpose later on when we look at one of the tools that I use with people. But what about a life without purpose? Now, I actually kind of experienced this a while ago when I was diagnosed with clinical depression. All right, and one of the things that I really found out coming out of it was that being directionless, that feeling there wasn't a point to any of it, was what really kind of took the colour out of life for me, made it grey. I found I was a lot more reactionary, and other people are too. So they react to things, and they're just going around, you know, fighting fire here, then rather than seeing that there's a point for me to get to and I'm going there. You know, you might have to fight off the odd fire here and there, but you need to get there. So it's very reactionary. It feels meaningless to some people, as I've mentioned before, and it can also lead to a lot of stress, because without purpose, you just feel, what's the point? But you're still having to do all these things, and you know your brain's going, why are you doing it? What are you putting all this effort in for? When you don't understand why. You don't understand why you're doing it. So getting to know your purpose, all right? There's many different approaches to doing this stuff. I use lots of different ones for my clients, depending on the way they like to work and depending on what situation or area of their life we're looking at. It can be dependent on the area of life and focus. So if it's relationships, if it's work, or if it's money, or if it's whatever it might be, you know, we'll look at the purpose and what you're about in that situation that you find yourself in. So let's look at work, because we spend a big bit of our lives in there. So this is one tool that I use to help people find their purpose in work when I'm doing career coaching, and maybe when I'm working a bit with entrepreneurs as well, and business owners, because we spend a lot of time there. It's not the one that I use all the time, but it's one that we use with career coaching and that kind of thing. So that's what we look at one of the tools here that we can use. Now, I don't know if anybody who's watching this has seen this before, but it reminds me of high school mathematics and Venn diagrams and things like that, which I used to hate. Okay, it used to give me cold sweats, but this is lovely because it's very simplistic. All right, and we'll go through the whole tool here. So this is the Ikigai method. I hope I've pronounced that correctly. I'm sure somebody can correct me if I haven't. All right. And it's basically made up of these four overlapping, it's almost like 4 overlapping bits of tissue paper, if you remember doing that. All right. Okay, so at the top, 12 o'clock position, we've got what you love. As we come round the clock, we've got what the world needs. Down at the bottom, 6 o'clock position, we've got what you can be paid for. And then at the 9 o'clock position, we've got what you're good at. But you'll see that there's all these overlaps in areas where these overlap and meet and don't meet. And I'll explain some of these. So the best way to do this is just to take 4 sheets of paper and actually go through the 4 lists. Ignore all the rest of it just now, but let's look at what do you love to do? So take that first one. What do you love to do? Take a bit of paper and just write down, what do I love doing? Well, I love coaching. I love seeing that moment when people, when they get it, and when they suddenly get the way they can do it, and they suddenly understand there is a way, and they can do it. They can suddenly understand that yes, they are capable. I love doing that. I also love playing with my kids, and I love playing guitar, although I'm rubbish at it. All right, I love playing guitar, and I'm trying to get better at it. So make your list. Make your list of what is it you love to do, and it can be work related, it can be outside work, and try not to limit yourself. Try to get right into the area about what is it I actually love to do. When does the time pass like nobody's business when I'm doing something? Because that's when you're really in the flow with something and you're loving to do it. This next bit, what the world needs. Now, this is what entrepreneurs look at, because they look at, okay, where's the opportunity out there for a new business, and can I start a business based on that? So what does the world need? So you might be looking at this as I am a coach, and I say, well, the world needs people to help them break through the BS that's been installed in and actually get to where they want to be in life. All right, okay, so, and there might be other things like, well, I used to be a marketing guy. Well, yeah, people need to know how to market their businesses and come up with new products and services and all that kind of stuff. What does the world need? Come make up that list as you go. That might be a slightly harder one to do because it's quite an exploratory one. The bottom one, what can you be paid for? Well, that's quite an easy one to see, because you'll see what's out there that people are paying for already. You know, what are the solutions? What are the things they're looking for solutions to? What are the problems they want to fix, etc. So what are they willing to pay for? Now, a lot of people have problems that they're not willing to pay to fix, okay? And that's just the way of the world. So what can you be paid for? What jobs are out there that maybe have skills related to yours, etc.? What other businesses are out there that are doing things might be slightly different? Make that list. And then the others, this last one, what are you good at? Well, I like to think I'm good at coaching, and I'm actually really good at marketing as well. I used to be a really good market manager for the companies I work with, and a marketing consultant. But it didn't make it onto my what you love list. All right, it didn't make it onto that. And so, what are you good at? If you're stuck at what you're good at, go and download the Personal Fabness Audit from my resources pages. It's on the top level resource page, on the worksheets. Personal Fabness Audit. Go and download it and do it, and you'll find out from that what you're good at. Okay, you will find out what you're good at from there. So, what we're now going to look at is, okay, where does this all overlap? Where does this help me to find out what is it I'm about? So where we see these overlaps now, you can see that there's a big overlap between love and needs, and that's your mission. All right, that's your mission in the world. So it's what the world needs and what you love, but you're not going to necessarily get paid for it. You'll see that there's no overlap there. All right. So you can also have things that you love to do. The world needs it, but they won't pay for it. All right, so it'll sit up here, and you're also good at it, but again, you won't get paid for it. So if you're in one of these areas, let's look at these little triangular shapes, these kind of skewed triangles. So if you're in here, you've got your mission and your passion. You're good at it and you love it. It's your passion. You love it. Oops, sorry, I'll just go back. Previous. There we go. You love it, and the world needs it. It's your mission, but again, they might not pay for it. So if in here you can have delight and fullness of fulfillment, but no wealth, you'll be poor but happy. You know, you might not eat, but you'll be doing stuff that you love to do. And I'm guilty of that at times as well. I'm guilty of doing a lot of that kind of stuff where I do things that help people, but they're not willing to pay for it. Okay, down in this other one, you can see we've got what the world needs. Yeah, we've got some of that. What they can be paid for and what they love, but you're not necessarily good at it. See, that bounding line takes us out of that. That means you get excitement and complacency, but a sense of uncertainty because you're not very good at it yet. Okay, you know the world needs it. You love doing it. You can get paid for it, but you're maybe not very good at it yet. But you can get good at it. You can shift that. You can shift that Venn diagram in that case. Okay. Down the bottom one, this little one down here, just below the centre of the clock as I think of it, comfortable but a feeling of emptiness. You can be paid for it, you're good at it, the world needs it. This was me when I was doing marketing, all right? This was me when I was a marketing manager, marketing director. I was getting very well paid for it, but I didn't love what I was doing. I didn't feel any sense of accomplishment from it, other than it made money for the companies that I worked for, and I got a bigger salary, but it didn't sit with my values and where I wanted my life to go. So I felt in there that feeling of emptiness. This other one, here you can see that we're good at it and we love it and we can get paid for it. Satisfaction, but a feeling of uselessness, all right? Because he feels like maybe the world doesn't need it. See how it sits outside that little pink one, overlapping that bit of tissue, as I used to think of them? The world doesn't really need it, okay? So it feels like you're doing these things, but you're not really getting anywhere. Now, the magic happens where you sit and where they all overlap. So you love to do it, the world needs it, you can be paid for it, and you're good at it. This is your ikigai, or your purpose in work. All right, as I think of it, this is your purpose in work. I'm just going to check my time, making sure I'm not going on too long on this bit. Okay, so this is your purpose in work. You can find that there. Now, an easy way to do this is once you've got your list, put them all on, write the things onto stickies, put them out on your desk or your table or on your walls if you get a bank wall, and start moving them around like this to see, right, do they actually work? Can I get paid for it? Am I good at it, or can I get good at it? Does the world need it? And do I love it? Do I love doing it? Now, you can learn to appreciate some things you do, like the marketing. I could appreciate where it was doing some things in terms of business, but I didn't love it. It wasn't, it wasn't like my heart up to go, wow, look at that campaign. It's just made X $1 million or X £1,000. It didn't set me alight, all right? In the way that coaching does now. So have a go at that exercise and actually make out those lists and see where you can find your ikigai. Now, if you can't find it, chances are you need to move something, all right? It might be the wrong thing for you, or you need to concentrate on another area. Or the easiest one to fix actually is getting good at it. Can I get good at it? Because if I can get good at it, I can move it over to overlap with the love, the needs, and what I can get paid for. And it's a great wee exercise to go through. It might take you a morning or an afternoon, but it's really worth doing because then you'll have an idea of what this stuff's all about. Just checking here, we're okay, that's great. Okay, so that's one way to look at purpose, all right? And I use this mainly for career and for businesses and for startups as well. That's what it's all about, especially with what you might call spiritual entrepreneurs who want to find where is it I can make the biggest difference to people, okay? I love working with people like that because they want to make a difference, so they want to make sure they get it right. And that's a great tool to do that with. And it's a great tool for you to do, any of you watching or listening to this or watching the replay, to actually go and sit out and write out these lists, play with the sticky notes and see where you can get groupings and see if you can find your ikigai, your purpose in work. Let me know how you get on with it. I'd love to hear. So other areas to look at. This is the fairly common wheel of life that most coaches will use in the first or second session with the client to look at where is it your life's coming about, or where is the bit that we need to work on the most, all right? So we've talked about career there, and that's closely linked to money. I found out about, when did I do that training? 2014, that I was never, ever driven by money. So it's not, the purpose is not to make money for me. It's not until I became a father, and then that's changed slightly. So your purpose can slightly change as well, all right? Slightly. And not in huge ways, I would suggest. I'd love to hear if anybody's got any other thoughts on that. But career and money, quite closely linked. What's the purpose of good health? Well, you might say, well, it keeps you alive, yeah, but you can get by without being really fit and really healthy. So to what extent are you driven by a purpose to have good health? You might want to look at that. That tool, Ikigai, might not help you do that, specifically friends and family. Well, what's the purpose there? Well, I know as a husband and father now of 2 young kids, and primary school, what's called elementary school, I believe, in Canada and the States. The part of my purpose is related to that, and I'll come on to that in a sec. Your significant other and romance, what's the purpose of that? You know, do you need it? Do you feel any purpose there? Is it part of your life? Personal growth and learning, what's the purpose? What's your purpose in there? Well, I know for me that there's a huge purpose in there because I'm helping other people discover their purpose and values and their way to fulfillment in their life. So there's a big area in there for me. Fun, leisure and recreation. There has to be a purpose in that as well. You know, if you're going out and just going watching movies at the cinema and you don't really like the cinema, why are you doing that? You know, why would you be doing that? Or if you're going out and, I don't know, kayaking down rivers and you don't like doing it, why are you doing it? Okay, what's the purpose of it? It might be closely linked to this thing of friends and family and socialising and all that, but really, is there a better way to do that? And that all comes around through questioning with a coach, etc. Physical environment, your home, your workplace, all that kind of stuff. What's the purpose of you being there? I have a purpose in being where I am on the outskirts of Glasgow here because I live in a nice house in a nice, safe area, near farms, and I've got a view of the lochs from upstairs. Not the lochs, the hills from upstairs. And it's fab. It's a lovely area to live. All right, so there's other areas to look at, but Ikigai won't always help you do that. There's other questioning techniques and things to do that. Speaking of which, purpose in other areas, how do you find that? Now, I've got a tool that I use with people that I'm not going to go into here because I need to do it with you as a trained practitioner of this. But I will give you some questions that will kind of open up the idea, if you like, a little bit for you. So this is a great question. I think Alan Watt first posed or became famous for saying it is, what would you do if money was no object? What would you be doing in life? Would you just be sitting on the beach drinking cocktails and eating snacks and watching the surf? You might be, but I'd imagine most people might get bored, okay? You might not. That might be the whole thing for you is to get to that point. But what would you do if money was no object? There's the idea, okay, what would I do? Would I go and do that? Would I go and do this? Or would I go and help those people over there? Or would I just lie about? I don't know. It's really yours. Now, this is a question where I got it wrong the other week and I posted it on my page and I said, what would you do if you could only fail? And a lot of coaches and people jumped in to know there's no such thing as failure, but, you know, and we do talk about first attempt in learning, those capitals fail. All right, so it's a learning experience. So what would you do if you could only succeed? All right, what would you do if you could only succeed in life? And you knew that if ultimately you would get there, yeah, there might be hardships along the way, there will always be striving to be done in life. What would you do if you could only succeed? And where would you put your energy? Where would you put your energy, your mind space, and your resources into achieving something? And that'll let you know something about your purpose in other areas of life and in your life in general as well. So my purpose is, I wrote this down after doing this. I've actually got a kind of slightly longer form, but to keep, I abbreviated it for this, is to help others fulfill their potential, to live the life they truly want while providing for my family. Okay? Now, there's a longer bit in there because part of my purpose is to be here for my family. I could make a lot of money if I went back into marketing, but I'd never be here. All of my jobs were with multi-site companies and I was away all the time. I was in Ireland, I was in England, and I was at different bits of England all the time, or up north in Scotland. I was never at home, and I was working 14, 15-hour days. That didn't sit with my values and my purpose to look after my family. So I'm providing for my family, not only in terms of financially, but in terms of emotional and presence as well, support, being here for them, you know. But at the same time, you know, I've got to make money, so I help others to fulfill their potential, and that helps me provide for my family. So it's a really nice, you know, I'm good at it, I can get paid for it, I love doing it, and it's something people need. So there's that comes into that perfect little part in the middle there that says, yeah, this is my purpose. So what I want you to think about is, what's your purpose? What's your purpose in any of these areas of your life? What's the thing that would drive you the most if you were doing it? And that you would stick to it no matter what slings and arrows were thrown at you? That you would stop making excuses to actually achieve and go and do it? What is that purpose? I watched a really interesting video. As I said, I'm trying to get better at guitar, and it just so happened these synchronicities come. I watched a video this morning, this guy, Rick Beaton, that I watch, brilliant musician and teacher, and he was talking about somebody that just kept making excuses all the time. And he could see that the guy's heart wasn't really in it. You know, it wasn't about the music for this guy. It was about something ego or something else. It wasn't really his purpose in life, because he just kept making excuses. All right, he just kept making excuses. If you have a real purpose to do something, you will get rid of the excuses. And a fantastic book that I have to mention about on this idea about excuses is Excuses Be Gone by Wayne Dyer. Fantastic book. It's on my recommended reading list on the page and in the resources. If you go in there, you'll see it. One of the best books I've ever read about getting over your own excuses. Kind of a bit of an ego bruising, because you will, if you make any of these excuses, even subconsciously, you will get a bit of an ego bruising from it. So have a think about that. What would you do if you could only succeed? But even if there are trials and tribulations along the way, what do you really want to do? What's the purpose and the motivation for that? Why do you want to be there? Why? This is your big why in life. Okay. Now, I always like to give you a little tool that you can go and do. So we've shown you Ikigai, but one of the things that I always point out to people is, it's great finding out what your personal values and your purpose is and all the rest of this stuff. But if you don't keep an eye on it, you ain't going to make much use of it, all right? Because things will get in the way in life, you know. And this whole idea is about living a life on purpose. This is a phrase I've used quite a lot. It's living your life on purpose. You know, on purpose in terms of going for what you want. But if you can keep an eye on these things, you know, where am I falling out of? Now, this is only one way to do this. I've got another tool that I do for personal values on its own. And again, it's another Venn diagram. But I want you to think about going and starting to do some kind of journaling practice. I go bang on about this all the time. This is a free course that I provide just now, and it's Right Your Way to Success, Journaling for Success. All right, and it's just a daily practice that you can do, and there's a one-page template in there to get you started, but you can change that in any way you like. And in fact, for this purposes, you'd have to go and change it to measuring how much am I living towards my values and how much am I living towards my purpose. All right, you might even put the two of them into one thing, which is flow. And that's a topic we'll do another time. This idea of flow from my highly sensitive high, and don't try saying that with a drink, can you? Okay, so how we go at those, and go and get the journaling thing if you don't already do it, and start. You know, once you've looked at your personal values and your purpose, and you've thought about this, what am I doing here? Why am I doing this? Look at how in alignment am I with this stuff? How in alignment am I for my values, my personal values, and how in alignment am I for my purpose? Do I know my purpose? Have I been living in alignment? Am I actually on the roadmap to that? Am I going towards it, or sometimes am I straying away? And these are quite important questions to ask yourself on a regular basis. And doing a daily journal takes you 10-15 minutes max. Okay, you can do this stuff. So I'm going to end this presentation here and take any questions in just a second. So let me just go to here. Where is it? Stop share. There we go. Right, we're back. So I don't see anything in chat. Oh, let me see. There's one thing. You read somewhere that your values are what you need and your goals are what you want. Right, well, I've never read that, but your values are what you need to live in alignment with, I would say, Carol, because I know when I didn't live in alignment with my values, it caused me major stress. My last employed job, this is an example I use quite a lot, but my last employed role was for a private healthcare company here in the UK. Now, for people outside the UK watching this, in the replay or whatever, we have the National Health Service where we pay national insurance through all our lives, and we get essentially free healthcare through this National Health Service. Now, I was working for a private healthcare company, that was basically for anybody who wanted to jump the queue and go and work, get private healthcare. They paid extra insurance and they went and did it. Now, this is very normal in America and Canada and even Ireland and places like that. You might not understand it, but my values are very kind of egalitarian. And I thought that everybody should have access to the same level of care, no matter how much money you've got, all right, for something as important as health. So when I was promoting this thing that was not in alignment with my values, I was stressed. I was like, I'm trying to tell the world, this is what you need. And inside is me screaming, no, it's wrong, don't do it. So your goals, yeah, are what you want. Yeah, everybody sets a goal. You don't set a goal for something you don't want. Yeah. But purpose is more than just a want. Purpose can be about contribution to something bigger than yourself. It can be about contribution to the human race. It can be about contribution to your community, something else like that. Now, I'm just going to see if there's anything else there. There's not. 1 second. I can't see how to unmute you. Are you muted just now, Carol? Can you unmute yourself?
I'll unmute. I didn't want
That's
to
it.
speak of you. Yeah. I thought
Right.
it was a great presentation. Thank you. I like the Ikigai part as well.
Yeah, that was
really
something
good.
I came across when I first started looking at career coaching with people. And I just went on a binge of what I normally do of, okay, what are the main tools that people help and use and works with it. And I can't remember where I found that. It probably was online, actually. And I love these simplistic tools because you don't have to do any fancy, you don't have to delve into the kind of psychological stuff of it. You just break down the lists and then see where the logic takes you. Now, some of it is emotion in what we love to do. There is emotion in there as well. Yeah. Because some of what we love to do gets tainted sometimes in our experience by, I loved helping people and various things to do, but I now hate marketing. And the reason I hate marketing is because I now have this anchor of it being associated with that stuff, manipulative stuff, as I saw it in the past. So you sometimes have to reset that and have a think about, okay, why do I not love doing that? Okay. And sometimes you just have to reframe it as well, which you'll know about in reframing, where you reframe the thought and you think, okay, could I learn to love doing that? Can I see that as something that's necessary? Not necessary evil, but a necessary thing I have to do to get out there. And that, as an ex-marketing person, I can say, okay, right, doing all the marketing stuff, the social media and these to a certain extent as well, although I love doing this and educating people and helping them through these, but the social media stuff and all that, I could do without it, quite frankly. I could do without all that and set up funnels and all this. But I see that you've got to make people aware of you. This is the old marketing consultant in me, awareness, interest, desire, and action. People have got to be aware of you, so you've got to be out there doing that so that they can be aware of you. They've got to have an interest in what you're talking about as well. And that links back to what are people willing to pay for and what does the world need. And then they've got to have a desire for it, so that need there again. And then the action is hopefully that they come and work with me. So it's a necessary thing for me to do. I don't necessarily love doing it, but I can see that it's a necessary part of me getting to help people is doing that stuff.
And if you look at it from the people that need your help, if you look at it from their position, they're waiting for you. They need you to do the marketing, so they've got that need for you to market.
Yeah, there's two kind of thoughts on that. A lot of people say, you're pushing stuff at people, and there's a little bit of pull marketing, which is just inbound marketing and all that stuff that marketers talk about. And I won't go into that because it's a whole other thing. But the idea is that, if you show people there is a solution, then hopefully they'll want to partake in it. Sometimes people are scared, though, as you know that I'm watching. Carol's also a coach. People are scared to take action sometimes. They're scared to come out of that little comfort zone. So you sometimes have to reframe it for them about things that they're taking action towards something as well. And doing this stuff for me you know, the social media and the building the funnels and the email follow-ups and all that stuff that I hate doing. I feel like, well, it's just part of the process of people getting to know me, so that they, you know, they can then resonate with me and trust me. With that no like trust of doing business with anyone, that's what comes from it. That's what comes from it. Okay. Anything else from today's presentation, Carol?
No, the only thing I was going to say is, for me, when I found my purpose, it was about my life story and the journey that I had been through. And it was being able to look at myself that I thought there's other people out there just like me. And that was a really good inclination for me finding my purpose, yeah.
Yeah, that's very closely linked to the other way I do this. Because when you go through that other process, you start to, when people don't understand what it's about, when you start to go through the other bits of it, that opens it up. And then when they get to the purposes, the kind of last bit we talk about almost, they can that's why I love doing that, but I hate doing that, you know, or that's why I'm driven to do this. That's why I suddenly feel driven to do this. And a lot of it's down to your experience. As I said earlier, it comes from you, your experiences, your character, and your personal values. You know, if you, like I have, I know you've got your own story. If somebody's got a story and you think, right, you know, one of my taglines is, I've buggered up so you don't have to. Right?
Yeah.
I've buggered up so you don't have to. So I say, right, well, don't make the same mistakes I did. If I can show you ways to avoid the mistakes, like, you know, I didn't know my personal values, I didn't have purpose other than just making more money. You know, it didn't work. So being able to do that, you know, you'll draw on you'll draw on your own experiences of life as well. And sometimes it'll be the things that you want to get away from. And so then, as you know, what we need to then state is, what is it I want to get towards instead? So if I wanted away from the stress and all the rubbish that I went through in employment, what do I want to get towards? And a lot of that for me was about self-determination, altruism, egalitarianism, my values, all right? So my values support what my purpose is. So we're coming to the end. I can only run these for 40 minutes on this Zoom thing just now. So I hope you enjoyed that, Kyle. And anybody else is watching the replay of this, if you have any questions, please pop them in the comment. The replay will be in the unit section. I'm actually only going to keep them there for a week. And there's a reason for that. I want people to take action. All right. I want you to take action on this stuff. If it's there all the time, people just forget it and think, I'll do it sometime. No. It's going to be there for a week and then I'm taking them down. So that unit will be there for a week from now, and then it's going away, folks. All right, anybody watching the replay of this or in the group, it'll be away in a week's time. And the same will be for any of the live trainings we've got coming up. Please go and check out the live training and events on the website, briancanavan.com. Events, under resources, there's a new reading list. I have a problem with the reading list. It's not working on mobile, but it is working on PC for some reason. The guys who build my theme are looking at that. But you can have a look at that. And that book I mentioned is on there, Excuses Be Gone by Wayne Dyer. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you've any more questions, please do put them in the comments, and I'll hopefully speak to you soon. Bye for now, folks.
Thanks, Carol. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks for joining me.
Bye.